Hello, my name is Carolyn. I'm your Client Success Manager here with LendPro. Today we're going to be going over in this video your applications and the application process. The first question that we always need to ask is how can customers start an application? There's going to be multiple different methods your customers can have visibility in starting an application. First being your in-store signage. If you've already done so, make sure you watch the account setup video above this one, and that's going to show you how to print your store signage, as well as website integration key pieces as well. If you need assistance with that, please contact me at support. You can email support@mylendpro.com or call our support line as well. So, of course, you're going to have your store signage that contains two methods right there via QR code as well as a text link as well. So that way your customers can text that number and it'll text back a application code right for your store. That way they can click on that link to begin. Another additional way is you can manually text or email your customers their application links as well. So if you visit and you log into your LendPro portal, you'll simply visit the Send Links tab here. Now here on the right-hand side, you'll see there's an email and a text symbol. So you can click on either one of these and you'll be able to either enter in the customer's email address or their phone number and click send. Especially if they're calling in by phone or if they're interested in doing this remotely, you can send it to their device simply as such. Additionally, let's say if you have an older customer or one that is not very technologically savvy, or if they don't have their own device or an older one, you can simply on the Send Links tab, you can click on the web link here, and this will open up an application and a brand new browser tab. So that way your associate and your customer can go through an application process together on your shop computer. Additionally, of course, website integration is going to be a very big key practice here. So that's going to make sure that your customers can get approved off of your website. Over 80% of potential buyers are going to browse online before shopping in store. So website integration is going to be key along with having that store signage. Additionally, on your promotions tab within the LendPro portal, you will also have this little downloadable link right here that says social media advertisements. That will download 10 different graphics that you can utilize and post on your social media as well, including with this web link here. That way your customers can apply right off of your social media page and get approved there as well. See? Now, when it comes down to working with your customers in store, let's say if you're in store or if they're online, what does that application process look like? So this is going to be the first initial page if you have employee tracking enabled. Employee tracking is just going to be that first screen if you have it turned on, where it'll ask them if they're currently working as an associate. If they select yes, it'll give them the drop downs of the sales associate that you entered into the LendPro portal on account setup for them to select which one is helping them and for them to proceed with the application start. If you don't have this feature turned on yet, but you would like this to be turned on, please email support@mylendpro.com and we'll turn this on for you. Now, this is the initial first page if you don't have this feature turned on. For the privacy notice, it basically just states everything is secure and compliant. Once they click on continue, it'll be the home screen for the application. Now, this home screen may or may not look like this for you. It depends on what your lender lineup looks like. If you have a prime or near prime lender added into your lender lineup, you'll have this apply for credit button. If you don't, it'll simply be just no credit needed and look up application. If you do have this apply for credit, this is going to be for customers that are comfortable and confident with their credit history and report. So they can apply straight to your prime or near prime lenders. And once they fill out that application, if they get approved, great, they can proceed from there. However, if they get declined or if they get approved but not for the amount that they're requesting, then it'll automatically flow down to your no credit needed lenders or your tertiaries per se. Now, however, for your customers that might be nervous about financing, or let's say if they don't want that check on their credit in that aggressive manner, they can simply click on no credit needed, and that will go right into your no credit needed lenders, and it'll bypass your primaries and near prime, so the standard credit checks. Now with the lookup application button here, this is going to be for your customers that stopped after getting pre-qualified. They never selected one to proceed a full application with. They just stopped after getting pre-qual. They can simply click on lookup application here and they can enter in their information and it'll pick up right where they left off where they can select one of their pre-qualified offers to proceed with. So in this scenario, we'll go ahead, for example, to click on no credit needed here. Now, to start of any application, they'll first fill out this registration screen here. So this is just going to be basic information, contact information, etc., including yearly income and estimated purchase amount and social. Now, keep in mind with this registration screen, there's no employment information, a bank account, or card information. It's just the basics here. So just based off of these fields, once they click on this green arrow, your pre-qualified lenders will be able to pre-qualify your customers based off of that and present some potential offers here. Now, keep in mind, pre-qualification does not guarantee approvals. Lenders will pre-qualify based on the details entered on this registration screen previous. And so with that, it'll give them offers where the customer could then select which offer they would like to proceed a full application with. Now, with this in mind, let's say if your customer went ahead and selected lender number 1 to proceed with, they would simply click on continue here. It'll give them this confirmation screen that they've been pre-qualified by who and for what that potential amount. Once they click on continue, it'll then open up the full application for the lender that they selected. Now, this full application is going to be the exact same underwriting and decisioning as a direct full application with that lender. It's just simply plugged into LendPro for the customer and for your convenience. So you'll notice here on this first screen that this is a lot of the same information that they previously filled out on registration. Since LendPro already has this for this customer, we go ahead and pre-fill it in for them. That eliminates double entry and it makes the application process much smoother in the long run. So if there are any blanks, because keep in mind with lenders, they may have different fields depending from lender to lender on what they require for the full application. So for example, with this one, the customer only had to fill out the marital status and click on that green arrow for the next screen. On this one, this is where the lender is requesting the employment card or bank information. So once the customer fills this information in, they'll click on the green arrow again. They can read and check off the terms and conditions for that lender, and they'll click on submit application. Now, the next screen, there can be a few different scenarios here. So let's say if the customer gets fully approved, they'll be met with this screen with what amount. And if that's all that they need, fantastic. They click on continue and their application process is complete. However, if they're declined, it'll say, unfortunately, you were declined, but don't worry, you do have other pre-qualified offers. Now, in that scenario, and if they have those other pre-qualified offers, they'll refer them back to this screen where they can select, and of course, the initial approved or declined one won't be there anymore, but they'll have these other offers here to continue with. They'll then select the next one they'd like to proceed with, click on continue. And keep in mind, since LendPro has these additional earlier fields filled out, all they're doing is confirming majority of these fields and clicking continue and submit. It'll only pop up with fields that they've never entered before for them to fill in, but other than that, it eliminates double entry. Now, let's say if they get approved, but for $2,000, but let's say they're purchasing multiple items or services, etc. So let's say if this only meets the mark for 3 items, not for an additional 2. So with that, it is possible to gain more than one approval through LendPro. To stress, if it is a purchase of one service or one item worth $4,000, you cannot do 2 approvals and split an item between 2 invoices. Instead, it needs to be 2 separate complete transactions. You cannot split items individually. So let's say if $2,000 covered 3 items, however, for another 2, it could be put on a separate transaction. The customer can then go back here to no credit needed, fill out this registration screen again, and it'll pull up their remaining pre-qualified offers they can proceed with, where they can then select an additional offer, fill out a full application, and get another approval. So that's how you can get more than one approval through LendPro. But again, just to double down on, you cannot split up one item or one service between multiple approvals. So now when it comes down to viewing and accessing your customers' applications and their statuses, because that's just the customer application viewpoint, we're going to switch to the sales associate perspective. So of course, all sales associates, managers, etc. should have access to LendPro Portal ready to view. So once you're signed in, there will be 2 different areas in which you can access customer applications. So the dashboard is going to show you all of your customers, and this will be the first thing you sign on to. It'll show you all of your customers side by side. You'll be able to view and see your customers. as well as if there's an action available. So let's just say that we want to check out this customer right here. You can either click on action available, or even if there's not one, you can simply click into that customer and see their details as well as all of the lender responses back to their application. So you can see all the different lenders who pre-approved, who fully approved, who did not pre-qualify, and who declined based off of just that one customer. There may be some action items available. For example, if a pre-qualified application line from a lender has a complete app button next to it, by clicking this will send your customer a text basically employing them, hey, pick up where you left off, get this application fully approved. So that way it's just going to send them that quick text and they'll be able to click on that application link to pick up where they left off. Now we'll get to this section into the next video, but this is another area in which you can see an approved application and you can click on finalize, and that will start the transaction functionality within LendPro. We'll get to that in the next video, so make sure to watch that as well. Now, to keep on topic, there is also the search tab. So the search tab is going to be a little bit more insightful when it comes down to your customers' applications. This is going to give you additional filter and search functionalities. So you can put in within specific date ranges. If you have multiple locations, you can look up specific locations here. You can also look up specific customers by first or last name or by phone number. So here you can see all of the application lines. For example, John Doe, this is all of 4 of his applications, and you'll be able to see all of John's here, and then underneath that, you'll see all the application lines for the next customer and the next, all side by side. And of course, their action available buttons will be here on the right as well. Now here, you're able to also export these records with whatever date ranges or search functionalities as well. So if you ever need that, you can absolutely do so here too. So that covers everything when it comes down to applications, their statuses, and what the process looks like. If you have any questions, keep in mind, and within the LendPro portal, no matter what tab you're on, you'll always be able to see our LendPro support phone number, LendPro support email, as well as the link to the training and resources app here in the very bottom right of your screen too. So you can access training materials or support at any time. Thank you very much.